Hey everyone, it's Emma, and today we're going to be finding out how much my carbon footprint is. But I wanted to put a little twist on it, and I wanted to try 4 different carbon footprint tools to see how accurate all of them are against each other. So let's just jump right in. One thing I want to, disclaim is that we don't get a water and electric bill here. When I'm going to be doing those numbers, it's going to be rough estimates, unfortunately, but I'm going to keep the same numbers for every single tool, just so we get the most accurate outcome. The first one we're going to be doing is on conservation.org, and it's just a simple carbon footprint calculator. The first thing I notice about their website, on this website it says how it works. Calculate your carbon footprint plus offset your carbon footprint equals solve climate change by saving critical forests. I just want to say that by offsetting your carbon footprint by planting trees is not going to save the world in itself. You have to do other things as well to reduce your carbon footprint in the first place. Like, you can't just fly, eat a bunch of meat, drive a big diesel truck, and then just plant some trees. That's not gonna save the world, especially if we all continue to live as wasteful as we usually do. I'm gonna do my entire household because I don't know how much trash and electricity I use as an individual. Number of residents, including myself, 2. I live in a apartment building, 2 to 4 units. Size of housing. Do you know how much square footage we have?
I'd say 1,000.
This one's interesting because I don't think the island of Okinawa uses fossil fuels. It's tricky because most of the houses off base have solar panels on them, but I don't know about the base. I'm just gonna assume, here we go. Yes, most. We'll just keep it consistent and do that for every tool. Do you recycle items? Yes. Household diet is mostly vegan. Fun idea. If you want to follow up on this, I would love to test my past life, 3 years ago, versus my life now, to see how much I have reduced my carbon footprint. Just one person in the last 3 years, just to show you how things like diet, transportation, and other things like that really do make an impact when it comes to your carbon footprint. If you're interested in that, leave a comment, like this video, and then maybe I'll do that next time. This is another unfortunate thing. Okinawa has terrible public transportation, and that's because it's a tiny island. So I use car, but I also bike and walk. I've been biking and walking a lot more recently. Annual mileage. My car's in kilometers. Let's see. So I change my oil probably 3 times a year, which is 5,000 kilometers. I don't know the conversion. So let's just assume 20,000 kilometers. I don't know. Is that ridiculous? 12,000 miles? Miles per gallon? I don't even know how many kilometers per liter I get. We'll just go US average again. Total number of long round trip flights. 2,500 plus miles. I'll put 1 because that hurts. Total number of medium round-trip flights made by household members in 1 year. This is tricky too, because 2020 we're probably not going to be flying at all. But we'll just stick with the average, what we've done the last 2 to 3 years. Average number of nights spent in a hotel per year. Rarely we do hotels. We usually do Airbnbs or hostels or something a little more environmentally friendly. They're not that much more. I'll leave a video linked here about the different kinds of eco-friendly accommodation. That's it. Calculate my footprint. My carbon footprint, is this per year, on an annual for our household is 25 tons. It tells you how many trees it would take to offset your annual, tell you how much you could pay a month to plant these trees, and then it also gives you some tips on how to reduce your footprint. So I think that's really cool. So the next one is nature.org. It is the Nature Conservatory, and it's just another simple calculate your carbon footprint tool. It shows you on average how many 2-person houses making this much money, how much is their carbon footprint on average. So I think that's pretty cool. Oh, this is per car. That's really cool. It does each car. Air travel miles per year. It always hurts me to say this. If I fly to the US and back, it's 14,000 miles. Just 1 trip. So we'll just assume I take 1 trip to the US and then 4 smaller trips of 1,000. So that's 4,000. So 18,000. That hurts. Again, if you would like to know why I continue to fly, you can check out this video right here, but basically in summary, I live on a tiny island, and I'm not about to take a 20-day boat to get back to the States. I just don't have the time for that right now. I think it would be really cool to get to that point, but right now I have to fly. It's very unfortunate. I'm not a fan. I'm just gonna leave it on whatever it is. I'm assuming these numbers right here are the average, because I don't know this. We can change the square footage though. This isn't gonna turn out very well, I don't think. Meat, fish, eggs, 0. Grains and baked goods. I probably eat average. Dairy, 0. Fruits and vegetables, probably more than average. Snacks and drinks, probably a little less than average. Average shopping. How much do you spend on each of the following? Oh, does that count groceries? I'm just gonna assume it doesn't count groceries. Does that count like eating out? Am I thinking too much about this? So this one's really interesting. Already I see a variation. This one says I do 32 tons per year. And I think this one is heavily because I don't know how much electricity we use. I probably could have fudged the numbers a little bit because I guarantee you we're way below the average. The green is me, and then this white box right here is similar households. So I think that's really cool. Even for the amount we fly, that was only me. But if we're on the same plane. Ooh, I love all of these, how they have like a take action and like how you can reduce your impact further tab. I think that's really cool. The next one is Carbonfootprint.com. First impression of this tool, it seems like very dated. I don't know when this was created, but it seems like it's like 10 years old. An average of 10,972 kilowatt hours. An average of about 914 per month. We're probably significantly below average, though I don't know how much. We'll do like a third, so like 600. We'll do 600 kilowatts an hour. I don't know. None. This one's very in-depth though. Like it includes almost every single type of energy. That's pretty interesting. Whoa, this is cool. So this one's like an actual amount. So, and this is why I do what I can in the rest of my life, like cutting out meat and using low electricity, because that's insane. That's just the one flight. Let's add a couple more because I need to be honest. Another 2 tons. Oh, how many miles my car has on it? Oh gosh, it's in kilometers and I don't know. I'm just gonna assume it means MPG. Average, yeah, we'll go with the average. Average, I don't know. Average value, sure. That did not seem right. Okay, so far, I don't like this tool out of the 3 of them I've tried so far, just because this one is very confusing. I don't know, they're just very specific. I like the other tools because it was very simple, it was very basic, like anyone could do it. This one's very confusing. I mean, it's not confusing if you know all this stuff, but like, I don't know all this stuff. Let's go per month, and food and drink, 400, and then like an additional, we'll do like $500 per month. Clothes, textiles, shoes, maybe 100. So I guess, yeah, this is the pros and cons to this. Like pro, like it's very specific, like down to the very, very detail. But again, it's like almost too in-depth. I don't think the average person would want to do this. Call cost. If that doesn't tell you how old this is, I don't know what does. Nobody pays to make phone calls anymore, right? Lower than the country average. I think this might be per month. There's no way. The worldwide target is 2 metric tons. The last one is from the Worldwide Fund. So yeah, I like this one right off the bat because it's got really nice graphics. It makes it more fun, and I think it would make it more interesting for other people to take. Pounds to USD. Of the food you buy, how much is wasted and thrown away? None. If you didn't know, I am a strong believer in zero food waste. So you can check out this video here about how to reduce your food waste if you're interested. How often do you buy locally produced food that is not imported to Japan? I'm gonna just fill it in with my own country. Only some of the food I buy is from locally. That's what's really tricky when it comes to calculating my grocery impact, because all of the food that we get at the grocery store on base comes from the US. So that's why we try to, especially produce, buy off base, and we buy a few things here and there at the off base grocery stores, but like they don't sell chickpeas and stuff off base, so I'd always get that at the on base store. In the last year, how many return flights have you made to the following regions? Is this just one way? I mean, it has been domestic and then 4 domestic. Next question. What % of your flights do you offset? I offset all of them now. Do you regularly turn off lights and appliances? Yes. How warm do you keep your Celsius to Fahrenheit? We keep our house at a lovely 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So 23 Celsius. But honestly, depending on which season, that's good, because like keeping it that warm in the summer is fantastic. Even in the winter here, that's still not that warm. I like how this one includes pets. None of the other ones did. That's interesting to point out. Ooh, almost there. Continue to results. Wow, it was really, really interesting to see how each tool differed. Was 25 tons. The second one was 32 tons. The third one was 8.6. I wonder if it's different between tons and metric tons. Which even then, the first two are in regular tons, and they were 7 tons apart. And then this one and the last tool were in metric tons, and they were just a little under 1 ton apart. 1 ton, 1 US ton equals 0.9 British tons, metric tons. They're very, very close, and I don't understand why 2 of these have me at absurd amounts of carbon, and these other 2 have me at very, very minuscule. I don't know which to believe. I mean, it can't be monthly, it can't be 8 times 12. That's like 80 plus 16, 96 tons? No. So unfortunately, I still don't understand what the deal is that some of them have me at 25 and 32 tons and the other 2 have me at about 8 tons. I'm going to assume that the ones that are 8 tons are closer to correct just because they are only 0.7 off instead of 7 whole tons off. And those 2 were also the most accurate. I think the first 2 quizzes I took were the most vague and the most broad, so it was kind of hard to judge and to scale that. These last 2, Carbonfootprint.com and Worldwide Fund, were very, very thorough. So I'm gonna trust those. Either way, we in our household, we live below the average, which is great. We're not where I'd like to be at this point in our lives, but being below the average I think is great, and I think that's something that we can all strive for. And you can do very easily. Like, we still use electricity, a lot of it. We still fly, a lot. We still buy imported food, but we're still below the average. So there are things that you can do every day to get yourself below the average as well. So just a quick summary. I hope that you enjoyed watching me take 4 different carbon footprint quizzes. I just wanted to talk about why it's important to do this in the first place. I think it's important for everyone to find out what your carbon footprint is, especially on tools. I really like the Worldwide Fund because it showed you percentages of each category, so you know which category you should reduce first. I mean, granted, some categories are easier. I think food is probably the easiest because you can choose to buy local or not. You can choose to buy meat or not. And then same with travel, you can choose to fly or not. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You can choose to take the train or drive your car. You have choices every day. And I think it's important to use tools like these to see what changes you can make. And again, each of them offer very, very easy, practical ways that each of us can reduce our footprint. A lot of them suggest like improve your fuel economy, cutting out more meat, buy things secondhand, take public transportation or carpool versus driving alone. If you do have to fly, try to fly direct instead of getting layovers. And again, that's not always possible. I talk about a lot of this stuff on my channel, so if you're interested, be sure to hit subscribe. I talk about very practical ways that you can live more sustainably. I will leave some of my videos I've created linked down below. Free ways to live low waste, lazy ways to live low waste, ways that you can save money and even make money by living low waste. It is achievable by every single person, and that's what I'm trying to do here on this channel. And I really encourage you to take a carbon footprint test today. These are just 4 of them. There are so many out there. I'll leave all 4 of these linked down below if you're interested, though I do recommend the Worldwide Fund. That one was the most fun. If you have any questions about lowering your carbon footprint, please leave them down below. I'd love to answer them. If you're interested in that second quiz, let me know. That's all I have. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you take the time to do one of these quizzes yourselves, learn a little bit more about your habits, a little bit more about yourselves, and see what changes you can make today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember that these small changes you make have a big impact in the long run. Bye, guys. Are you listening to me?
No.
Sure. Hey everyone, it's Emma, and today we're going to find out the most accurate. What's the word? The first one we're going to be doing is So the first one we're going to be doing is on conservation. I was thinking too hard. The first one we're going to be doing is on conservation. I'm still thinking about saying conversation. Technically we live in the United States, but like, it's complicated. Heating oil at like lamps? What do these mean? I've got a petrol car. Spelled with 2 N's and an E. Tones.